All right, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Ken. I don't always have coffee in my cup, but it's a good little series that I like to have going. So I'm going to set that aside. I want to talk to you today about something that's come across my desk. It might have come across your news feed. McLean's last year, I was trying to find out if it was this year or not, but last year the Toronto Star posted an article. McLean's actually copied that and put their own perspective on it. And this article from the Star, so forget McLean's, I saw the article again from McLean's, but it was rehashed. The Toronto Star came out back in April of last year and wrote an article about buyers in Oakville dealing with a situation with Mattamy Homes. I want to get this out of the way. I'm not affiliated with Mattamy. Any of these buyers, I have nothing but a perspective on the situation. But the reason why you clicked this was either the title or the actual picture of the video. Really, the big reason why I want to talk about this is because so many buyers and people that are thinking about buying a home, that are looking at new builds, can potentially run into this situation. So it's a huge buyer beware. It really, truly is. And if you're not paying attention, and if you don't have someone that is acting on your best interests, things can get out of control very quickly. So, group of Oakville home buyers, around 100 from what I can say. I'll post a link to the Toronto Star article below this video. They bought pre-construction. They bought into a new development, Highway 6 in 60 Mile Creek area, Dundas, just north of near Trafalgar Road, if that rings a bell for any of you watching this. Great area. You know, Oakville's expanding like crazy. Really, there's not too much land left. So a lot of these homes were put in there in between the $1 and $1.6 million price range. And a lot of these people bought in 2017. In fact, I think all of them did. And put down the minimum deposits and put down the minimum deposit. And then in 2018, the market, well, it changed. The market, instead of going like crazy for a couple of years, 16 and 17, it literally just stalled out. And when it stalled, a lot of people think the market went down. It really didn't. It's just there was a lot of price reductions because people were still pricing their properties. It was going up. It wasn't. It was just stalled. Stalled and went flat. So among the stalling of the real estate market, the government of Canada came out and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put on foreign buyers tax policies, meaning that if you are a foreign investor, you are going to get taxed more. So a lot of foreign investment pulled out pretty quickly. And then they said anybody purchasing a home over $1 million, you have to have a minimum of 20% down. So some of those people said, well, we can't do that anymore. And then the stress test happened where it made it even more difficult to qualify for a mortgage. So these buyers trying to buy $1 million to $1.6 million house are sitting there going, what do we do? So to put this in perspective, and I really think it's important, if you're thinking about making a purchase over $500, $750, $1 million, you really have to have your finances in check. I can't stress that enough. Your finances should be in check, because if something changes, if your situation changes, if you lose your job, if the real estate market changes, things happen. And so when you sign on the dotted line, you, not the government, not the stress tests, not the builder, you are responsible. And if you can't come up with the down payment required, if you can't borrow it or get it from friends and family, or if you can't make that happen, you are financially responsible, nobody else. Because not only you, but everybody else in this marketplace is affected by mortgage stress tests, different rules the government imposes, not just you. So you are not special, okay? When those things came into play, everybody was affected, and it affected the entire real estate market. So they're blaming Mattamy, and they're saying that Mattamy's lowered the prices, or Mattamy's done this, or Mattamy's done that. And Mattamy's going to say, we didn't do anything. You know, we advertised a home. You looked at it. You saw it, you picked the finishes, you said you could finance it, and here we are. And there's an agreement signed. Mattamy come out in defense and said, hey, look, we did our job. We advertised, we got this home ready for you. We've paid the trades, we've paid for the material, we own the land. There's all these costs that builders take on. And I'm not saying builders are perfect, but I'm just saying in this situation, they took on a lot of risk, they sold you the house, and you could not follow through. So a lot of these people now have $200,000 and more into this as a deposit. And if they don't follow through and close on the house, they could lose a $200,000 deposit. So, reality is, and this is a question that I want to ask you, what would you do? Number one, would you take on a multi-million-dollar home? Sorry, $1 million plus home and not really have a good idea of what your finances are like? Like, would you really do that? Would you put your family at risk? Would you put your business at risk? Would you take, some have said, a calculated risk. There was an accountant in the article that said he knew his numbers to the T, but then when it came time to close, couldn't figure it out. There were some people in that article who are buying a floor plan for their kids. Their kid was 2. Okay? Now, I sympathize with everybody that's involved here. What I don't like is the fact of financial negligence. Really, to me, that's the issue at heart. Whether these people dealt with the builder specifically, they had a real estate agent involved, they had a mortgage broker involved, every single one of these people did not, from the sounds of it, consult a professional when it came to the financial aspect of this transaction. In 2016 and 17, everything was going straight up in real estate. And so a lot of people neglected the financial aspect because they thought the market would continue to rise. And it didn't. And that's a big issue for a lot of people that are in the real estate game right now, is that they're playing with fire. You can't just go out and buy something because the market looks great. Another thing I don't really understand, you don't need to spend $1.6 million on a floor plan that your child is going to like, okay? You can literally go to Milton, parts of Mississauga, Burlington, Hamilton, and all around the GTA, and you do not have to be in Oakville buying a $1.6 million house. That's a single car garage from my understanding. It could be wrong, but that's what I think the article said. For $1.6 million. You do not need to spend that. If you're thinking about making a move, you really need to sit down and understand your numbers, and that starts with talking to a mortgage broker, because they will go over your entire situation and say, yes, you can, or no, you can't. Or yes, you can, but you're really stretched. You shouldn't do this. So I've got a great mortgage broker, Laura Witt. I'll put her contact information down below. And if you're thinking about making a move, let's sit down and have a conversation, just like this. You and I can chat it out. You can say, hey, Ken, this is what we're thinking. What are your thoughts? And I can say, well, you're making X amount in your job and you've got this much debt and this is going to be your new monthly mortgage payment, taxes, da-da-da-da. Probably doesn't make sense. Or, hey, you're going to have an extra number of dollars at the end of the month and you're comfortable with that. That's up to you to decide. The bottom line is, with all of this, the bottom line is only you are responsible for signing on the dotted line. And if you don't consult the right professionals, the responsibility is on you. And even if you do consult the right professionals, you are an adult and you need to make an adult decision. That's it. Ken's Coffee, Coffee with Ken, whatever you want to call it. Hope you like the new format. We're going to be doing a bunch of podcasts and a bunch of different things that are going to have some different looks and cool things. So thanks for sticking along with me on this. And www.kenparkin.com or sold@kenparkin.ca. I look forward to chatting with you. You go and have yourself a great day.